Saka's early goal sends Arsenal 7 points clear in the title race. The result, on a day when Manchester City were held to a 2-2 draw at the Etihad by Nottingham Forest, means they lead the table by 7 points with 8 to play. Wasn't pretty, but Arsenal's narrow 1-0 victory at Brighton, courtesy of an early goal from Bukayo Saka, summed up why they remain favorites to win the title, even if they are struggling to win hearts and minds as they do it. The result, on a day when Manchester City were held to a 2-2 draw at the Etihad by Nottingham Forest, means they lead the table by 7 points with 8 to play, and dreams of ending a 22-year wait to be champions back in their own hands. Was celebrated wildly by the visiting fans after a difficult away trip, and they no longer care what others think, even if football seems to be lining up against Arsenal right now, despite their consistent performances. The Gunners arrived on the South Coast having won 4 and drawn 2 of their last 6 games in the Premier League, but still in a race with City for the title and still, it seems, fighting for the love of critics and neutrals. Most onlookers seem to accept that Mikel Arteta's side have been the best team in the league, and possibly in Europe, so far this season, but that hasn't quite translated into universal praise and admiration. Instead, there's been an obsession with the team's reliance on set pieces, and in particular the dead ball delivery of Declan Rice, to win matches alongside a perception that Arteta's side are less flamboyant and less exciting than the modern image of a perfect title winner. Opposition fans regularly taunt them with chants of second again, all in reference to the club's failure to finish top since 2004, and at Brighton, both the home crowd and manager Fabian Hürzeler spent the match booing and agitating every time the Gunners took too long over a free kick or throw-in, or when injured players lay prone on the floor. Despite that, Arsenal went ahead early in the first half, after only 9 minutes, and it came from open play when Saka's run and left-footed shot ended up in the net, having taken a deflection off Carlos Baleba, beating goalkeeper Verbruggen rather too easily in the process. That was a relief for Arsenal fans because earlier there had been a scare when David Raya carelessly gave the ball away and Bale Balab had to be headed off the line by Gabriel. The rest of the half was rather forgettable as Brighton, without an out-and-out center forward on the pitch, struggled to create chances, and Arsenal were comfortable without really threatening to add to their lead in a 45 minutes, which featured only 2 shots on target. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why this Gunners side hasn't, so far, been able to win over the footballing public, even if their own fans are more connected to the team than ever. There just doesn't seem to be the kind of adventure and excitement we associate with memorable Premier League champions. But what does that matter when players like Gabriel give absolutely everything to keep clean sheets? The last time Arsenal won a Premier League title, in 2003 to 2004, the legendary Invincibles team had a real creative French flavor through Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, and Robert Pires. So, there's an irony in recognizing that French set-piece coach Nicolas Jover is at the heart of their campaign to end a long wait to win it again. But should their efficiency from dead ball situations really be such a stain on their impressive campaign so far? 16 goals from corners this season and 21 in all from set pieces highlights Arsenal's qualities, and they can also be dynamic and inventive on the break. But with influential William Saliba and Martin Odegaard out injured against Brighton, maybe this wasn't the day to change the template and turn on the attacking burners. With second place playing on the same night, at the same time, the game was above nothing more than 3 points, and they took them. Brighton regularly pinned Arsenal into their own half, pressing high up the pitch, especially in the early stages of the second half, but without ever looking like finding the net, and the visitors defended solidly with Gabriel outstanding. Goalkeeper did well to parry away in his 100th appearance for the club, and although it was a slog, the Gunners never really looked vulnerable. Slowly, led by Rice, they came back into it with substitute Kai Havertz denied by a Baleba challenge and then forcing a save out of Verbruggen late on. In the end, it wasn't a set piece or outstanding football that won it, just outstanding mentality and a determination to handle a difficult away day without slip-ups. The end result is that Arsenal have a major advantage over City, who were held by Forest at home, and now sit 7 points behind their rivals although they have a game in hand. It could still come down to a head-to-head at the Etihad on Sue.